The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, David White. As always, we meet every trade day from 2 to 3 Eastern Time live or 24/7 anytime archived. Of course, I like it when you listen to me live. A couple of years from now, probably this show probably won't have the same impact as it did right now. Anyway, as we look at the markets, up basically 9 points on the S&P, cash at 1909. We've got 1.77 billion shares, so the volume could really be better. I'd like to see 2 billion shares on the New York Stock Exchange coming into this time. And it is, what can you say? A little underwhelming. You'd like to see big milestones blown away with volume if you think the market's going higher. And it makes me think that the market has maybe some structural weakness in it that we'll be able to exploit short. And I think more people are thinking that way. Anyway, up 8-9 points. We're going to call it 1.8 billion shares as we start the show. I think after a long weekend, we've talked about it last week, just how much the character of a market can change. You don't want to get too much wrapped up into what's gone on before. You want to see how the new character works out. Mostly you'll see an up market turn to a down market, but sometimes that doesn't happen. But what you will see, even if the market's headed higher, is that if the market was nice and smooth up and down, or up or down, a lot of times you'll just see the character change, which is very choppy to very smooth, a little bit, a few points higher each day. Of course, if it was choppy, you go to smooth, you go to smooth, you go to choppy. Called the rule of alternation. You kind of want to see what's going on with that. So as we start off the show every day, we like to look at a little bit of history, histoire. And on this day in 1933, President Roosevelt, Mr. Roosevelt, signs into law the Security Acts of 1933, requiring all issuers of stocks and bonds to publish a prospectus disclosing all risk, conflicts of interest, and ownership positions. The act is thus intended to correct some of the evils, which we've been so glaringly revealed in the private exploitation of the public's money. With the public crying for revenge on Wall Street after the crash of 1929, the bill is passed the House of Representatives without any debate or recorded vote. The Senate had debated it for only 2 hours, passed it, and signed it within days of it leaving the Senate, and made law. And that's why now we see, of course, read the prospectus. You can't say anything without it. And that's not so much a law as being sued because of this act. Now, one of the probably not a lot of people, everybody had a good weekend, I hope, and it was wonderful. And it is what it is. Anyway, I was reading the Financial Times. I drifted off there for a minute. The Financial Times had a very interesting piece, and it's called Interest Rate on Excess Reserves. A lot of people banding about this acronym over the weekend. IOER is currently set at 25 basis points. The idea is if the Fed will pay more than 0.25%, then it would be foolish for anybody else to pay 0.25% when they could go to the Feds. So as they decide to go out the other end and start raising interest rates, all the Fed has to do is pony up a little bit more than that 25 basis point bottom, and the interest rates will go up. And a lot of people have debated how the Fed is going to be raising rates when they do. But a lot of economists over, and especially over in England last week, debating this. It finally came down to the fact that they don't need anything new. They don't need anything extra. All they have to do is raise their own rates. Of course, that being it, they can take all the action they want. But the banks, if they're going to get any kind of action at all, are going to have to raise their rates. And that's all they have to do. They can suck all of, actually, quote from Financial Times, in essence, paying more for all the oxygen in the banking system, then the banks will not lend anybody else for less. That means Fed already has the only tool it needs to control broad financial conditions by raising interest rates in the future. But I think we're going to probably hear a lot more of this IOER, EIEIO. I've added the EIEIO, of course. IOER. And they're probably looking for the first hike to 50 basis points somewhere around January or February, at least I am. Bernanke said not in his lifetime. No. Just people talking in the den here. We've got 2 IPOs, so it's going to be a slim IPO week, and that makes me think that we could have some down moves in the market this week. First Foundation, Southern California-based wealth manager and commercial bank, and Microlin Bio, a diagnostic and therapeutics biotech focusing on microRNA and its role in oncology. For those people in Lutz, Florida, that is working with the precursor to DNA and cancer. Anybody in Lutz? I hope not. I'll probably get some hate mail today from all our listeners in Lutz, Florida. I'll probably already have. Anyway, what else do we have going on here? But, I figured our engineer's got relatives in Lutz. I figured he actually lived there with all the disco they played. More Snowden. And I actually had something for this, if I can just find it. We will. Let me find it here. I did all this preparation, and of course, what did I do with it? There we go. Save settings, and I quickly went out and what did I do with it? I quickly deleted it. That's what I apparently did. Anyway, Snowden is going to be coming out this week with more information and a interview. I believe it's tomorrow night. At the same time, the gentleman that worked for The Guardian that wrote all about this and basically released a lot of the data over the last year, left The Guardian and went to work for a billionaire who's kind of upset with the U.S. government for basically digging in everybody's business. Has set them up in Brazil, where it's a lot harder for the NSA to bug and chase him around. I don't think they have a whole lot of internet infrastructure in Brazil, but I think he uses a typewriter now and destroys the ribbon. Anyway, the guy with the new book that wrote all about it is saving the best for last. His biggest revelation from nearly 2 million classified files is going to be kind of the equivalent of what we saw in the 60s, which is how the NSA was actually investigating people here in the United States, U.S. citizens, with absolutely no oversight from Congress or the government or the I can't even say it, judiciary. And we're going to find out exactly who was on the hit list. I'm wondering if I made it. You know, apparently there's thousands of U.S. citizens that they were digging in and watching their communications. And the question is, will I feel bad if I don't make the list? And that's what I'm wondering about tomorrow night. If me complaining about this all the time on TFNN, maybe Tom O'Brien too, maybe the more we complain, maybe we get a chance of getting on the list. But find out whether I've been investigated or maybe one of our listeners has been investigated. I have a feeling this has a lot more to do with anybody that had contact overseas. But kind of interesting that with no grand jury, no judge getting involved, the NSA was able to look at U.S. citizens and investigate them at will and what they may have done something. Yeah, the NSA is protecting us from somebody. Hopefully it's from us. So we'll look at that. But anyway, I did see some more fallout from this whole NSA over the weekend. Reading through some of the emails, China has actually pretty much told anybody not to buy at least in China, not to buy anything from IBM, and basically based on all this NSA backdoor stuff, both in the software and in their hardware. So we're starting to see more and more of this, especially in people that could be potential enemies from us, and that is the Chinese and Russians. And I don't know if you missed it. It's not in my slide deck here today, but Chinese actually attacked and sunk a Vietnamese fishing boat this weekend, fighting over the Gulf of China there, the Sea of China. And kind of one of the first steps in them exerting their will all over that eastern area, Asian Pacific region. But I thought that was kind of interesting that they're now saying that basically Russia got to do what it wants to do without any real repercussions. And I think they're looking at the same thing here. They can probably do what they want, and our current administration is probably not going to do anything about it. Patent reform was killed on Thursday night. I didn't really bring it up. I didn't want everybody to bum everybody out for the long weekend, so I thought I'd bring it up today and bum everybody out for this week. But patent reform basically was closed when Senator Leaky Leahy, I'll tell you why he's called Leaky in a minute, as chair of the Judiciary Committee, announced that he was taking patent reform off the agenda, that it was extremely necessary, but we just can't figure out how to do it, so we're just going to ignore it, and maybe we'll come on this next year. My belief was he was always there to sabotage it. Old Leaky Leahy, if you remember him, is the one that's continually leaked classified data, including that we were watching the cell phone of Osama bin Laden. A day later, he never used a cell phone again. And, of course, if I had leaked it, I'd be making small ones out of big ones in Leavenworth. But, of course, he gets a huge promotion in the Senate to bigger and better committees for doing so. But somebody that probably should be in Leavenworth right now and is not. And that's not the only time he did it. He's done it more times. Anyway, we're going to the break, and we will be back in just a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, Visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Hecht has just announced a live 90-minute webinar that he'll be hosting Saturday, June 7th from 9:30 till 11 a.m. Eastern Time, entitled Energy Opportunities During the Summer of 2014. With the frigid winter having depleted some key energy stockpiles, Russian political tensions high, and the storm season for the Gulf setting up to reverberate through energy markets worldwide, opportunities could present themselves over the summer months that could provide huge payoffs. When you sign up, you'll gain immediate access to a 7-page report Andy has put together as an introduction to what he'll be covering, so you can start preparing and get a feel for what Andy will be discussing live during the workshop on Saturday, June 7th. Andy will be advising his attendees of at least one trading recommendation in each area, including crude oil, natural gas, coal, and refining spreads and oil products. The best part is that this live 90-minute webinar is only $99. Don't wait. Sign up today and reserve your spot while gaining instant access to Andy's 7-page report right now. For all the details, visit the front page of TFNN.com. You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. If you hadn't seen it, Candy Technologies, of course, they make the electric and pneumatic cars over in the Far East, as they say, was up 9% before we started the show. I haven't looked at it since, but kind of interesting that we've all heard about how bad the air is in China, especially in the big cities. There are reports that they're going to remove millions of cars off the road to ease pollution over there. Of course, traffic is a nightmare. The pollution is worse. But you might be aware of that if you're thinking about banking on GM or Ford selling a ton of cars over there. They're basically pulling the plug on that whole deal and trying to get the pollution levels down in the major cities where a lot of people can't even breathe. So if you are looking at that, I noticed it didn't get much play out there today, but I thought it was very interesting to see this company take off. And there may be more than just rumors to China removing lots of cars. And the idea is that, of course, that if they make an electric car or a pneumatic car, that they'll be able to put that on the road. So maybe better news for Tesla and bad news for GM and Ford, who have all been pushing over there. Go back to the bikes they had. And commercial drops, policies. Classic TV. That's what I was looking for.
Here's Boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane is right.
And I always liked Rosie, the robot maid. But anyway, Apple is going Jetsons. Reportedly this week, they're going to launch new software platform to turn iPhones into a remote control for light security systems and other household appliances. I wonder if I could rig this so that my oven would come after somebody. But we need Rosie the robot. We've had Rosie the Riveter. That was World War II. Rosie the robot, of course, in the 60s and 70s with George Jetson. World didn't turn out quite like the Jetsons thought it would by 2000, but always interesting. Great cartoon. Always loved the boss. He was always some horrible, horrible guy. Never made me feel like wanting to get into business and work for Mr. Bentley or whatever his name was. But kind of interesting that the whole Jetsons idea of the automated home, the automated everything, being able to let your dog out and back in. I'm just wondering how Apple's going to solve this. There's lots of other companies already in this particular business and what they can actually add for it. Of course, part of this may be Google buying Nest and that whole deal where Google's trying to get into home automation themselves with temperature controls and that kind of stuff. But I digress. The carousel of progress. Anyway, it is a mad market. And as we get ready to finish up this segment, we're going to start looking at a lot of stocks moving out there. We've got people already emailing me, and Jan wants me to look at DDS. We'll do that when we come back. You, of course, can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com like Jan did, or you can post a message in the den. Anyway, we plan on having a good time for the rest of the show, and as much as we can make it uplifting, we will. Anyway, it is a mad market out here, and as we go into the break, I just wanted to take a quick look at some of the stocks that were moving out here. I know Apple was up a little stronger here, and I wanted to take a quick look at that before we go to the break. Then we'll come back and look at stocks that you want to look at and stocks of interest that I want to look at, but we'll be looking at a little bit of both of those. It's up. Is volume really increasing the last couple of days? A little bit better volume than Friday. But I mean, the big move back here that had basically 24 million shares on the 28th gives you a good idea of where the support level would be now. So you could see this thing pull back to 590. No indication of a failure just yet out here on Apple. And, with Carl Icahn behind it, the question is just how far could a stock manipulator like him make it, and how high can he push it? Hard to say. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. Make sure and send me those emails. Call in on the phone line and or post a message in the den. We'll be right back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, Jan from Lutz, Florida. She's from Lutz, Florida because she didn't tell me where she was emailing me from. So, Jan, you are from Lutz, Florida, until I get another email telling me that you're from somewhere else. Anyway, she wanted to look at Dillard's, a DDS, and I guess the question is, been going up on light volume, does it look like a possible short? And the answer is yes. The one thing I dislike about this one is just the confluence. Let me put it this way. I wouldn't call them confluence. I would call them congestion zones. This one has several all the way down to about $80. And if this failed, I would imagine it would go to $80. The downside is how long it would take to get through all those levels as you came back down. And if you had a lot of patience, it can. Normally, I look for the stocks that don't have a great deal of support levels underneath them, like Dillard's has. If you're watching over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you've got several confluence areas. I wouldn't say that they're strong confluence areas. They're $3-4 wide. And if it was like $1 wide, I'd say that it would be more than a congestion zone. But to me, it looks like we've got all these congestion zones on the way down where this thing might take 3 months to get back down if it failed up here. And I would certainly want to be playing this thing if I did short it for $80, which I think is, it kind of comes right back into under a few of these spikes. But there's several gaps in here that have been filled. That probably is the natural or regular price. And, of course, you get a long summer. retail not doing all that hot, a market pullback, you certainly can have it. I think the question is just lately where this thing would go. And I think you're probably going to say if it did fail, it'd run right around to $98 right off. So 10% move, yeah, it would be. Is it up on light volume? Yeah. I tend to look for stocks that could have more than a 10% move on a short, though. I want to see 20, 25. And that's why I would say that if you wanted to set the plans up for this trade, you want to probably see a possible $80 out of it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but I think you would want to make the decision on whether you thought you could get $80 to short this thing on. If you're just trying to play it for a few bucks, you've got that huge volume up day, and you're basically talking 103, 102 maybe, 101. And so can you make $10 on it? Yeah. I just don't like the risk reward of shorting a stock up here unless I can get a lot more than that out of it. But that's just the way I trade and roll. So, we'll find out. Okay, no update on Jan from Lutz. She's still from Lutz. We got Sandy, AMBA. AMBA to umbrella. Okay, wants to buy Ambarella back, and this is Sandy. What do we have here? Ambarella develops semiconductor processing solutions for video that enable high-definition video capture, sharing, and display worldwide. Company system on a chip designs integrated HD video processing. Well, I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling that this whole sector kind of made a high. The people that were my partners back in 2000, after running our company broke, decided to set up basically the identical company. They just sold it, I think, to Harris Broadcast a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, after working on it for 10 years and trying to, actually 12 years, and make something out of it. I don't know how much money they made or got. They probably got a little bit, but probably nothing worth the amount of effort they put back in it. The company never went public. Pretty narrow company. All they did was build cards that turned video into streaming digital video on an Ethernet cable out the other end. To me, it's awful hard. Now, the whole system on a chip thing sounds kind of interesting. I just don't see much out here in that business. That business always moves rather fast. The question is, I don't see how these guys are any different than what my ex-partners did. No power consumption. And they're going mass market, which means they're not going to have a high margin. If you wanted to buy this thing, you want to be looking at it at the 1650 level, and that would be it. It is, I would say that's probably where this thing wants to go right now. And you got that high volume up day and gap back from August 6th of last year that wants to get tested. And I would say that that would be the safe place. This looks to me like this thing is kind of making an ABC down. Of course, you have these congestion zones from the previous areas, or Fibonacci areas, down to $20. If the bus 20, you got 16 on this, but that's probably where I'd want to buy this, is the $16 area. And I think where this thing is headed back down to. Let's see, we'll get mail and see if we got any new. Don't have any people asking the den. And if we have some callers at 877-927-6648. Wanted to go through some of the movers today. ARO has a nice little bounce coming out of it today, but of course, when we look at this, it's just a bounce in a downtrend. And of course, you've got some levels where this thing probably is going to go. And I would say that your confluence area hits right where this big gap down comes. And could you get a bounce out of it? Yeah. Could it go as high as that $6 level? Certainly can. You've got that 607 at the top of confluence, which, of course, is right where this giant gap down is from March 14th. And that's, you could be bouncing around just in this area from 337. So not a bad, at least as a margin. But a lot of people talking about whether or not this company has enough cash to make it through the summer. So the question would be, if they issue more shares of the stock, does this thing go back down to $2? So you kind of have to watch out for that. Dynex, huge pop out here today and on volume. And the story behind Dynex, DYAX, shares are jumping 25% after rival BioCryst reported positive findings in the clinical trial for its heredity drug BCX416. Doesn't that sound evil? BCX416. Yes, my brother had it. Anyway, it turned him into Godzilla. But, of course, they love it out here. And, of course, this thing went right up to the confluence level, and that was between 794 and 817. This thing did hit 835, so I would suspect that you're probably going to get just about everything you wanted out of that trade today. You'd probably take your cash. Of course, this did make a nice sign of a low, and that low out here was tested on about half the volume, April 15th, $6.15, 3.3 million shares. You got back into it in the highest volume within 0.5% of that 615 low was 1.7 million shares. This thing kind of went sideways for 4 days and took off in a nice trade for somebody. Not me, though. It left the store without me. Frontline, FRO, another one moving heavily down today. Let's take a look at the headlines for this guy. Let's see. Take a quick look. Frontline, stocks moving lower Tuesday after the company warned of a weaker second quarter. The company said recent negative developments in the tanker market is likely to give weaker operating results. The Bermuda-based shipping company reported stronger than expected first quarter results. Over the 3 months of March, the company earned 4 cents a share. Let's see. The company weakness can be seen in multiple areas, such as weak operating cash flow and poor profit margins. Boy, this is ugly, isn't it? Let's take a little longer look at old Frontline here, see what we got. Okay, this thing's going back into the gaps. Filled it today. I don't know. We're probably getting awful close to a low. Certainly this gap up happened on 3.5 million shares, and we've got 2.5 million shares on Frontline today. Quickly look at dries. See if any of these others, not a whole lot of reaction to that on dries. But interesting nonetheless. HIMX, Himex Technologies, another one kind of being slammed today, down on high volume. Let's take a quick look at headlines on that one. And we shall take a look. Himex stocks falling. Himex. Okay, you've got a big backer, Renaissance Electronics, plans to sell its stake in the unit that supplies display driver chips for the Apple iPhone. Ugh. Will sell its stake to Synaptics, according to Reuters. The unit is sole supplier for the display driver chips in the iPhones, and that's it. Ugh. So probably why this thing's off 16.15 and down at $6.61. Looks like they're taking the only part of this company that means anything and exiting at stage left. See if there's anything else out here. Well, I mean, the next stop for this one is the gap. That gap happened on 7/22 of last year. The bottom of that gap is $5.30. And if you looked at the volume here today, certainly looks like it's headed back down there. And there's one more gap down here at $4 too. And looks like everything out here could get weak, but a lot of energy down. And of course, the only real money-making part of this company exiting stage left. HSH, Hillshire Brands, of course, this one a huge pop today. Another alternative buyout offer for this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, as it's been spent about 5 hours today already on CNBC and Bloomberg about this ad nauseum. I don't think that there's any money to be made. XGTI, XG Technology. This tried to bounce, got right into the higher gap out here today. Let's see if we see any headlines on this that sound interesting. And announced it had received a crucial cognitive radio patent. And that patent lasted all of, 2 hours this morning before they started selling this thing off. And monster volume, but boy, I tell you what, looked like everybody was willing to take the money and run as quickly as they can. The core of their technology foundation. Well, that's the big movers of this morning. I'm going to look at some of the stocks that were testing highs or lows and see how they were doing today. Probably one of the ones that interests me most is Arch Coal. I thought that this thing could be making a bottom. I don't know whether or not you could say that there was any upside to the stock, though. I dislike the fact that we basically hit the previous low with a little bit more volume, about 1 million more shares from October 9th that had 11 million shares, $3.75. We went through that down to a low even today of $3.65. Not a lot of volume, so you did make a lower low, lighter volume. But just last couple of days, we've had basically almost 13 million shares within 0.5% of that low. I think it was actually 3 cents higher than that, 375. So we've gotten deep into that candle without a lot of volume. Now, what really you should be looking for is this big June 24th low at $3.47, he said, that had 16 million shares. And I think within 20, 25 cents, if you wanted to play this thing, you would love to see this low busted with the light volume. But, today's not such a bad day, but it is going to be a tough. So take a look at those. I'm not much on coal. We've talked about it on the show even to last week. A lot of new laws coming on in July about the use of coal. We've had the president basically say that he would bankrupt all the coal companies, and I'm taking him at his word on that. We can disagree on whether or not it's the right thing to do. I don't have the ability either to save them or to change the president's mind, so we'll go on. AutoNation, kind of interesting seeing some of these car companies up, and we talked about that with China taking cars off the road over there. Anyway, we'll come back. We'll look at this.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
And as we come back, getting ready for Andy, warming up in the bullpen, I see. Of course, he's going to probably be talking about that gold price. And we'll take a quick look at GLD. I've been agnostic as to gold. I never thought that we made a low, Goldilocks, that was a long-term low. Everybody was too willing to buy it. I wanted people that when they clicked the mouse to buy gold to be throwing up, probably throwing up blood at the same time, maybe bleeding out of their ears and eyes. It was so painful to buy back at $1,200 bucks, or $1,190, $1,180. And I kind of voiced my displeasure. On the way up, I thought that the way it moved also that it could never stop. And so maybe I'm not the guy to ask. But to me, I continue to think, especially when I looked at the way that the gold miners opened this morning, that it could be extremely problematic. Looks like we're going to have a higher volume by the end of the day than this last 123.11 low from April 1st. I had 12 million shares. We got basically 9 million shares now. I think we could easily see that before the end of the day in the GLD. But we've got this open gap, and we could certainly see that, which is down about 117. And I know people don't like it, but I tell you what, we had a lot of volume off the top, and now what we're having is that volume really start to expand and go sideways on lighter volume. And I would love to see, this is the kind of bottom I'd like to see, is just very painful unfortunately, I know a lot of people that are long or want to be long gold here. But I'd love to see this thing come back into the lows. I'd like to see them in the 117 area or even break the 114 area on GLD and just have everybody throw up their arms and say, it's over. Gold's over. No longer want to see it. And I think then we could start looking at these gold miners and figuring out which ones are going to make it and which ones are not going to make it. Not going to make it. Got to do my Bush impression. Not going to do it. Not going to buy gold until we see it test them lows. Pretty horrible impression, I imagine. But we know the targets that we're looking out down there for. We'll watch the volume go into the end of the day. But I would really like to see this low volume really ring out. What the Fed can do. But probably the biggest thing that Europe can do right now is start to weaken their euro. That is probably the biggest problem that they are going to have. And I suspect that, what do we see in the dollar index? It's off a nickel here today. I could see that with a strengthening dollar that you would see gold continue to weaken. But I think maybe that would be it. Maybe it will take the EU pushing the button one time on higher interest rates or lower interest rates, to actually get the euro lower. And that's basically, I think, mission number one of all the financial gurus that are running the banks. The biggest problem they have, of course, is basically Germany owns everything. They own 80% of everything in Western Europe, and it's kind of tough to tell the Germans what to do since they've got all the cash and problematic. But I think we're probably going to see the euro weakened a little bit. At least I think that's their mission. I think that's why we're seeing weakness in gold, because of course
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.